Thank you, chatbot. Very cool. Hey, hi! Good evening. How are we doing? It's Friday. Did you all have a good week? You're in evening. I mean, it's 5:30 here, so it is evening. Thanks, Kaizan. If you're in the Discord, you already know. Why is this long? I gotta fix it. Fucking. No, I don't want on my tier list thing. My window capture. Yes. Good evening or afternoon or whatever your time zone is. You're in the Discord, and this orb? Man. That sounds even worse than the Diddy Kong Racing CD that could never be played because it was shaped like Diddy Kong's head. Anyway. This is a very stupid thing. But what better way to share one of my current interests than in a very stupid way? I'm trying to. This is also a somewhat mild flex on my physical hardcover copy of the Soulbound Core rulebook. It is quite hefty. Yes. I also had no clue. There's no category for just tier lists on Twitch. There's no tier list category. This is going to be a very casual, very loose formatted thing. Gonna keep it kinda quick. Kinda quick. I don't expect this to take a while, but it might. Now, I'm going to need you guys to ask questions. Because if you don't ask me questions, I won't know how to describe some things. So if you have a question, just raise your hand. Like, if you're asking why this particular tier list, I don't know. I've seen my shareful of very memey and silly tier lists from other in terms of other Warhammer settings, but there's not a lot when it comes to Age of Sigmar, which is a shame, because Catacross is right there. Like, come on, guys. And also, all but 2 of the images I'm going to be using in this are taken from Torden, I think that's how you pronounce his name, but his Age of Sigmar videos. Because those little doodles are magnificent, and I would like to print out 20 of them, and just stick them all over my place. Anyway. 2 of them I drew myself imitating that style. Yeah, let's get into it, and because I'm gonna put up some background music as well. So, if I'm just sitting there in contemplation trying to figure out what the fuck to say, there'll be something. Archaon's head is covered. there he is. He's peeking out. He's right there. Right there. Wait, where is it? Hold on. He's right there. He's right there. Speaking over my shoulder. Oh, no, come on. Let him free. Let him out. There he is. He's right there. See? See our Grand Marshal of the Apocalypse peeking out? I mean, right there. Show me what I'm trying to lean as far as I can without just falling out of my chair. Right there. Right there. I can't lean any further. My armrest is preventing me from leaning any further. I'm physically incapable of leaning any further. But see him? There's Archaeon. Catacross is not a deity, so he's not on the tier list. But you should look at Catacross. Catacross. Yeah. You should look at his model though. It's a very nice model. And we're just gonna be covering all the major gods and Tyrion. Archaeon isn't technically a god, but you know, he has the power. He's got the juice. And I will be reading their little intros from the Soulbound core rulebook for those who do not know who the fuck I'm talking about. I will be sticking to I will be sticking to the Age of Sigmar setting, so for those that come here from the old world or fantasy battles, those events will not be covered unless I casually bring them up. But I will not be focusing on them. And I will not be including any 40k things for the 4 Chaos Goobers. Because that's not relevant. I've got my big book right here. You can't see it. But I got my big book right here. I keep forgetting that Gash is like the second page in that section. There he is. First off is Malarion, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Also, oh wait. I should actually possibly cover the kids. Again, this is going to be very nonsensical? That might be the word. But I will explain the general quote-unquote vibes of each tier. Top tier, you're going to be married for the rest of your life. It's going to be pretty happy, setting aside. But you're going to be the type of people celebrating your 90th wedding anniversary. You are committed. Like a fucking fairy tale wedding. Second tier, maybe you tried being serious or exclusive for a bit, but it didn't quite work out. But the fallout wasn't that bad. You're still friends. Third tier is just I have no clue. I can see it rapidly fluctuating between each end of the spectrum. Fourth tier, it did not work out. Whoever you're with, they took the fucking kids. You're not getting over it. You may be plotting a Kill Bill style revenge scheme. But whatever. What? What do you mean, what? They took your kids? No, that would imply I was ever in a relationship. That would be implying way more about me as a person. But no. Then the bottom tier, very common tag. It's just, I don't know what you were thinking. Everyone saw the signs. Cooper for life. It's one way to say it. But I think the not safe, sane, or consensual tier, it kind of speaks for itself. Just a big, I don't know how I ever thought this would work out in any sense of the word. And let's start with Mally. He used to be named Malekith back in the old world, but in Age of Sigmar he's Malarion. He is also known as the Shadow King. He is the god over the realm of there we go. Words. I can fucking talk, I swear. Which is just a realm based around the magic of Ulgu, which is like shadows, illusion, confusion, all that sneaky, tricky stuff. And here is an issue with trying to rate Mally here. We really don't know what the fuck he's up to as of right now. We don't know what the fuck he's doing, what's going on with him. He's kind of just there. All we do know is that during the Age of Chaos, like, he had such utter control over his realm. Chaos could barely get a good kick in. Like, his realm was kind of somewhat it weared sort of chaos better than the others, but he certainly wasn't offering help to the other people. That aside, well, that's what I have for him because I kind of tried to imitate the one piece of official art we have for him. He could just take whatever shape he likes, but he kind of spends most of his time on his throne, in his capital, in his realm, being sneaky. Just being a general menace from the shadows. To quote the book, he is in a friendless position. And also to quote, his position is strong, albeit friendless, and his ultimate ambitions, as ever, are obscure. So it's going to be very tough to put him in a tier. On one hand, shapeshifting can open up a whole realm of possibilities, but on the other hand, he's probably a master at gaslighting you. And others. You won't really know what the fuck is going on. Probably. But also, this is mildly relevant. He's got mommy issues. Like, very, very... No, he's not gassy. He's not That's a Nurgle complaint. But he... He's just a fucking enigma, so it's hard to judge him in, like, an actual relationship scope. But as far as I can tell, he's fucking who? What? What? What do you mean? What do you mean? It's just in a very nebulous situation. So as of now, I can't really put him in a very solid position, which I guess works. You said it what? What did I say? I am just not comprehending any of my own words. I'm just talking without thinking. My body is a machine that turns thoughts into incoherent nonsense. He does have mommy issues. What? You can't just say redacted! I don't even know what I said! You gotta give me a solid quote. You can't just say redacted. Kai-san, come on, you can't just scare me like that. Yes, keep in mind, he's got mommy issues. He hates her. And trust me, the feeling is mutual. Because that's Dark Elves for you. But due to his currently nebulous status, I'm gonna put him in the could go either way tier. Because it just, I don't know. Yeah, frick that guy. Yeah, you should go. It's a shame we don't know more about him, because I like the one piece of official art we have of him. And if you, like, you know me, you know why. The next stuff is his mother. It's Marathi. Lots of people are thirsty for her. Lots more thanks to the popularity of Total Warhammer. Here's the thing, it's not gonna be good for you. She does not really see others as, like, equals or mutuals. People for her are tools and peons to further her own goals, which, I mean, she did achieve godhood. She did do that. At the start of the... what's that scenario? That's not right. The setting, she was like, oh, all the praise, all the bloody spells for Cain, I've got his heart right here, just keep worshipping Cain, he'll totally come back. And she was stealing all that worship to empower herself. But it's like, even at the start of the setting, she was so powerful that a lot of people were like, she's basically a god already, even though it wasn't, like, technically. I mean, she did participate in the whole... No, I'll get to that when we get to Slanesh. But, on one hand, she's a good ally to have. On the other hand, she's super manipulative. Like, one of the first things when the Pantheon of Order got together was like, I need a pawn. Now, she was going to seduce someone. Now, all the other elven gods, they were kind of off the table. So she was stuck choosing between Nagash and Sigmar. She tried to seduce Nagash. It did not work out because he just decked her so hard, like a good solid punch, that she reverted to her snake woman form and then just fled the scene because she was so embarrassed, which is hilarious, which is fun to picture. Yeah, if you're okay with a not so healthy relation, and I think I'm moving around so much, my tracking has no clue what to do. Either that or it's the darkness. The darkness is getting to the room. Hold on, I need to turn on the light. The darkness is getting to me. Darkness is getting to me. Oh. Hang in there. Hang in there. My poor tracking is It does not know what to do. It's okay. Hang in there. Hang in there, tracking. I believe in you. Yeah, my poor tracking is suffering. I don't know why, but whatever. Maybe if I enable more light. Wait, so what is this list again? How dateable each of the major deities in Age of Sigmar are. That's the general vibe, but I do have to cover some things for those who have no clue who the fuck I'm talking about. And I'm also just kind of just rambling when things amuse me. This is gonna be scary. I mean, I guess, but like also it's not 40k, so you at least have more options to choose from. So there's that. Rejoice! So here's the thing. So here's a brief about Marathi. If you're alright with just basically being a pawn to be discarded when she no longer needs you, go for it. I will not stop you. But it's never going to be mutual. It's never going to be completely mutual. So I'm going to put her one tier below her own son. Simply because I think at this point she isn't very capable of such emotions. Nurgle time. Nurgle gurgle. Grandfather, some might say. I could just put him in the bottom tier immediately because he's gross and nasty. And I think I will put him in the bottom tier. Not quite solely for that, though. One, he's still very much hounding after Alariel, the goddess of life, like in the other... Like in 40k, how he has the elven goddess of life, Isha, in a jar. Not literally in a jar, but he has her trapped in 40k, so he's trying to emulate that success in Age of Sigmar, and it's not going well for him. It's just not going well for him. He's not going to get that elf wife this time. It's like, Nurgle, he's all about that despair. He's all about plague. Sure, he might lessen the pain you feel from the plagues he has inevitably granted you, and your despair is so deep it loops back around to you being joyful. But I don't think it's very safe or sane. I simply do not think that. And I will not get into some logistics, because I simply will not. I will not. No, you can't make me. You got all that? Any questions, Kaizon? Because I can consult the book.
I never asked for this.
Hi, DJ. He's gross. Understood. He's very gross. What do you expect from some guy whose title is Lord of Decay, or Fly Lord, or Plague Father? He's nasty. He's gross. I want you to consult the book. Would you like me to read everything in the book? All 2 pages about Nurgle, or just like the first the first 2 paragraphs, which are his like little intro? How much Nurgle book? Give me an excerpt. Disease and entropy are the heralds of Nurgle the Plague God. The manifold afflictions unleashed upon the mortal realms provoke the despair upon which Nurgle gorges himself. His strictures include: all diseases are a reward to be eagerly sought, for they are the grandfather's blessings. Spreading the blessings of Nurgle is a sacred duty and an unending obligation. All things decay in time. Do not seek to prevent this. Tzeentch's deluded followers are to be forcibly made to witness the beneficence of Nurgle. Nice free hate. Oh my goodness. Yeah, he's just... Even if it wasn't the whole despair thing, he's just so gross. He's just so freaking gross. And I just saw his Sigmar balls. Alright, next is Slaanesh. It's Slaanesh time. The god of excess. The despoiler. Quite literally stuck in horny jail right now. No. Slaanesh is not S tier. Slaanesh is in jail right now. Once the Elven God found out where Slaanesh was, they did the equivalent of luring it into a dark parking lot, beating the shit out of it, taking back a whole bunch of Elven souls, just like ripped straight out of its gullet, and then remade elves in Age of Sigmar with mixed results. Besides, remember, Slaanesh is more than just the whole bedroom stuff. It's excess in all of its forms. And you will just keep... They jealous? They want their souls back! They want their souls back! Once you go too far down Slaanesh's route, to quote, no perversion becomes too abominable so long as it allows them to feel something. Anything. The line between pleasure and agony vanishes as they exceed mere hedonism and fall into utter depravity. So, I mean, yeah, you might start off with the whole sex, drugs, and rock and roll lifestyle, but you're gonna be just getting hit by a car because at that point, at least you'll be feeling something. It's a slippery slope with Slaanesh. So, like, the other, so 80s Miami. And that's how it starts. I mean, I could put Slaanesh up a tier just because they are associated with crabs, and as we all know, crabs are the perfect life form. Just look up carnonization. But they're currently stuck in jail. So your androgynous Lord of Excess, it's going to be kind of unreachable at this moment. Like, they're thrown in the realm of chaos, it's just empty. Paste Crabco. Now, before we get to Nagash, I gotta flush my mind from the, many times, from the 20 minutes of pure Nagash propaganda I've been watching. I gotta get all that out of my brain. He's an asshole. Okay. First things first. He is a complete... Thank you. Thank you for the pet. Ah! It's Nagash! The great necromancer! Book. There we go. The craziest thing about Nagash, his end game is, killing everything ever, and then raising them up as his own unfeeling, unthinking, completely loyal undead servants to enjoy his necrotopia alone for all eternity. Because all these chaos demons and stuff, they feed off mortal emotions. So the best way to kill chaos is to just not give them any mortal emotions. Like Necro Glamour. He does have a nice hat. He honestly doesn't sound too bad. Here's the thing, he is quite the fan of ironic punishment. Recalling some things from the Champions of Death supplement, if, let's say, you were a doctor, you know, he's Zeus. Let's say you were, to just give you a sense of his, what he enjoys in terms of punishing people. Let's say, while you were alive, you were a doctor, you know, you were helping people coming back from the brink of death. All that good stuff, all that good noble stuff. You have pissed off Nagash doing that. So when you die, you're gonna get turned into a Dreadscythe Harridan, where all you can do is watch your hands that have now been transformed into scythes and other weaponry just slice down literally every living thing you come across. Well, all you can do is watch, trapped in your own incorporeal ghost body. Hell yeah! What if you're an evil doctor? If I don't have the, Champions of Death supplement open right now? But, like, if you were just a happy mass murderer, you'll also be turned into one of the various forms of Night Haunt. I think it's the Cairn rate. Yeah, one of his scriptures is, justice must be harsh but appropriate. And also, I will admit, he's very determined when he sets his mind to something, and being, the supreme god of undeath, he is extremely patient. Extremely patient, because the OG, I don't know what that... I'll look up that reference later, it's escaping me right now. Let me tell you one of the first things he did. No, it's not reincarnation. It's not always the opposite of what you did in life. If you're a real, mass murdering asshole, you're gonna be turned into a can wraith. You know what? I'm gonna open up the Champions of Death supplement. I don't have the actual physical book, but I have the PDF, which I stole from the internet. Oh, wait. I had another way I could show you how he punishes people. In the book, The Undying King. It's not stealing, it's borrowing, but I have no intention of giving it back. There's that. Can't believe I'm pulling out the whole Champions of Death supplement for this. It is the supplement I've read the most, so it's like... So, I mean, that says something. Where are you, my... Okay, no, I gotta scroll up from the Ozark Bone Reapers. Where are you, my funny Karen race? To quote, "Here lies the most wicked of murderers, happy to add more victims to their tally. Insidious curses strip away all fondness and compassion to make night haunts what they are. The gentlest souls emerge unrecognizable, reduced to little more than frightened, angry animals. But some change very little as they pass through death. The deep hate they had in life left untouched. These are the Cairn race, serial killers whose bloodlust only grows now that they have lost all other mortal pleasures. Even if they were free, Cairn race would choose to spend the afterlife scything down the living, and those who chafe at Nagash's rule only do so because they would rather choose their own targets." Also, I gotta plug this tablet in. It's at 47%. Oh yeah, back to the one thing I wanted to mention from the Undying King novel. So one of the big things is that one of the main characters, I forget her name, but she was basically the last ruler of this one tiny little kingdom, and she and her people were super loyal to Nagash. But in order to save her people from an incoming Nurgle-like swarm, she had to break some ghosts free, which Nagash he tied them up. Not really tied them up. He kind of put them in ghost jail to begin with, because I think they tried to rebel, something like that. And she certainly succeeded in helping her people, but Nagash showed up. He completely just ripped the life ghost jail.
No refund, no return.
Ghost jail. Thank you. Yeah, it's been a while. I gotta reread that novel. I should, but even when this lady had other powerful faction of death people backing her up, Nagash turned all of her citizens into skeletons. Just unthinking, unfeeling skeletons. He took all their souls and absorbed them into himself. It's look, your people are safe. There's no safer place than being one with me. Bro is OP. He earned it. Speaking of his OPness, he almost won the entire setting already. He almost achieved his endgame. Yeah, that's the funny thing. He's an asshole, but he does have a point. Speaking of his what? Look, he doesn't have one. I don't think he has one. I mean, just look at any of his official art from Age of Sigmar. I don't think he has one of those anymore. He does. I guess that's what the hat's compensating. Yeah, he's very controlling. He's very possessive. If there's one thing, if you end up, he killed all the other gods of death in the setting. There's only a handful of parts of the realm of death that don't belong to him and belong to some other death-related deity, but he just hasn't found them yet. So the most statistically likely thing is that you're gonna end up going to Nagash. Which means, like, to conquer what, basically, like, 90% of a near-infinite realm, completely rewrite how the laws of reality work specifically in your realm, and that was when your ritual to kill everyone ever went wrong? Like, that's something. That is absolutely something. I should probably cover what that ritual was exactly. So, Nagash likes his pyramids. He likes his pyramids. Can't fault him for that. So he built this big pyramid in the center of the realm of Shaiish, the realm of death, which is like where, you know, it's where all the afterlives are. Skelechad. And, the only thing that went wrong with his ritual to kill everyone everywhere was that Skaven somehow got their way into his, super pyramid and messed the whole ritual up. So while it didn't kill everyone ever, it, A, reversed the flow of magic in the realm of Shaiish, and now he just has this huge black hole in the center of his realm, which he can just sit in and just absorb all that magical energy to power himself up even more. Well, I mean, I think Nagash by definition is a lich, or at least he was a lich before he, you know, became 1/8 of all magic. Like, he's also the reason why vampires exist, first of all, there's that. That's an aside. Vampires exist because of Nagash. I won't go into details, but just know. And, like, once he achieves his endgame of killing everyone ever, even if you are completely loyal to him, like you're, say, an Osearch Bone Reaper, or one of his high-ranking Mortarchs, he's going to just revoke your sentience from you once he gets his endgame. I've likened his endgame goal to just him sitting by himself playing with his Barbie dolls. So, I really can't say it's safe, sane, or consensual. The thing is, though, it's kind of inevitable that you're gonna end up with Nagash one way or the other. So I'm not gonna put him in bottom tier. I'm gonna put him in the same tier as Marathi. Because he's kind of inevitable. He's just gonna happen. Look, it's Sigmar's turn. Sigmar's turn. He's going through it right now, honestly. Sigmar, man. Like, what do I even say about our god, the God King, Sigmar, the guy who made the Stormcast Eternals, the guy who basically kept the old, like, made it the old Pantheon of Orc before everything started falling apart. Like, what do I even say? I think the main thing is that, A, he's kind of depressed right now. The Stormcast, he had to unleash them upon the world before they were really ready. And that's why whenever Stormcasts, like, get remade, they lose little bits and pieces of their humanity. And, like, when he was forced to retreat back to Azir, which is his realm of the heavens, all that fun stuff, he left a lot of people who used to worship him kind of to fend for themselves. He didn't really do it because he wanted to, he was kind of forced into that retreat. I think right now his plate is just so full. You know, if you were in a relationship with him, you'd probably be just, like, sitting there waiting for him till, like, 1 in the morning for him to get home. He's just incredibly busy right now. But I mean, at the very least, he's probably one of the better mental states in comparison to some of the other major deities, especially the ones we've talked about already. It's gonna be tough. It'd be tough. If he ever won and beat the shit out of Chaos. But one, I think he wants to just become one with the winds of Azir. He wants to just, leave, kind of. I mean, also, there'd probably be just a lot of therapy. He used to be just a barbarian before becoming a god. He's doing his best. He's doing his best. So while I think it wouldn't last forever, it'd be kind of rough, he's one of the safer choices to go with. And also, you'd get to be in Azir, which is, from what I understand, it's a pretty cool place. Just look at pictures of Azir, Azyr. I like that place. It's pretty. And we come to Tzeentch. I think, if you know anything about Tzeentch, that he's in it for just the thrill of the game. He doesn't really give a fuck about who wins. So long as it's entertaining. When all the Chaos Gods notice that Nagash is getting ahead in the game with the Necroquake, which, was part of what caused Shyish to just get a black hole and just cause billions upon billions of undead to just rise up across all 8 mortal realms. They're like, no, this sterile realm of undeath, that's kinda cringe. Tzeentch is just like, oh, ooh. Even though, as the Lord of Change, an unchanging eternity is kind of exactly the opposite of what he wants. He's too busy just being amused by the concept to really be worried. But also, this is Tzeentch. 1 second, you could be having fun, the next you're just a blob of flesh on the floor, writhing in pain. He does whatever the fuck he wants, so long as it's amusing. Which is not really good. If you're on the receiving end of that. It's not great. Don't recommend it. Corn. I don't think someone being the embodiment of anger and murder is the best partner to have. Sure, he I'd say out of the the major Chaos Gods, he's probably one of the better choices, but I don't know how you deal with him, honestly. What the fuck, man? Yes, I'm sure some people might get giggles out. The cord does not care for whence the blood flows, only so long as it does. So I'm sure some people might get giggles out of that. But, you know what? I'm gonna put him on the upper end of not safe, sane, or consensual. It's not great. Nah. It's not. No. How are we feeling about this, Kurt's evaluation? Do we have any questions? Oh, the background music stopped playing. Hold up. Pretty accurate? Yes. Please keep playing the music. That would be very nice. I appreciate it. Thank you. Pretty accurate? I do what I can. And next is Alariel. Do you remember way back when I covered Nurgle? Talking about how much he wants to put Alariel in a jar in his realm of gross disease and ruin? She's not having that. Now, before the whole Age of Chaos did its thing, Alariel described just being really gentle, nurturing goddess of life. But, she did die, but, as patron of the trees, she was, she kind of regrew herself. She came back. And now she's kind of in a more war-focused state. Focused on kicking Nurgle's big, fat, green ass. Also, don't even think about, one of her scriptures is, well, two of them. Take only what is needed from the land, and 2, honor whatever must be taken, for it is a sacrifice made for your benefit. You'd have to be, if you wanted to be with Alara, which, you'd have to fight Kurnoth for, he's not on this tier list, he's not even a major deity. But he is a consort of Alario. So one could say she's already taken. But you would have to be very willing to just live minimalistically in the wilds. It's I don't know about you, but I don't know how long I could go without my creature comforts of indoor air conditioning. And also she has a giant beetle. You can look up her model, too. She's got a giant beetle, which she rides into war. Which is kind of cool. But also, I don't like bugs. I don't like them. I'm not a fan. Especially when they get in my house. I don't know what they're up to. I don't know what they're scheming. I don't trust them. But I would say, in a similar thing, I'm actually going to put her into the same tier as Sigmar, because if she was ever able, this is Warhammer, war will not end unless the settings, just becomes a massive flop and they have to blow it up again. But I think she can recover. You can fix her. But you have to destroy chaos to do so. Are you willing to do that? Wait, isn't that the plot of Stranger of Paradise? You kill chaos for some lady? I don't know, I haven't played it. I've heard it's fun though. I might put it on my list of games to play. I just try to chaos for any biddies. I commend you. I commend you. You destroy chaos for giant elf biddies? But I mean, she's huge. She's very, very tall. All the gods in Age of Sigmar are, as far as I'm aware, taller than their mortal counterparts. You would? Dang. You do it twice, dang! We found a loyal soldier of Alariel! Though not for reasons of protecting the natural order or anything like that. Commendable. Now, Tyrion. Teclis' twin. He's not a major deity. He does not have any official art. But McCartan drew this little doodle of him, so I'm including him. First things first, he's blind. Tyrion is blind. Not that... I don't know. She prefers trees to other she prefers her Sylvaneth tree people to other mortal races, but she loves life. She's a life goddess. But she does have a preference. So, it might... I wish you luck. I would wish you luck. Alright. Tyrion. Teclis is later. So take a lot of what I'm going to say about Tyrion and just inverse it. You'll be reborn! You're not going to be reborn as a Sylvaneth. That's not how it works. You die, you're going in the gash, buddy. You know, unless you get picked up and turned into a stormcast. But the odds are not in your favor. Salute to this mad lad right here, though. Back to Tyrion. I keep getting you keep distracting me with your sheer thirst for L'Oreal. You gotta stop that. How can I talk about the other elf deities? Tyrion. That's who we're talking about right now. He is, again, I haven't heard much of him, what's going on in Age of Sigmar, outside of, he's blind, but kind of like Daredevil, he doesn't really need his eyes anymore, because he's got other senses. And I mean, also, he could just borrow Teclis's sight for bits, but that's kind of awkward. I can imagine that being awkward in some situations, so I don't know how often he does so. Tyrion is, to quote his little box here, Tyrion is a warrior born. He highly values honor, and his sworn word is unbreakable. He's a teacher of both philosophy and battle. The Lumineth, the high elves of Age of Sigmar, kind of less asshole-ish than most high elves. What?
Jill.
What? Huh?
Honor! Jill.
Honor!
I never asked for this.
Oh yeah, you startled me in the middle of a sentence. Where was I? The Lumineth are as much his people as they are his brothers. Hey, Tessie! I was not expecting that. I guess, you know, I only have so many,
Jill.
This is so... I keep getting distracted. Yeah, I think, from what I recall hearing, Tyrion currently is away from home. He's too busy out in the other realms beating the shit out of chaos. He's not going to be coming home for a while. But you know what? He's probably one of the safer options. He's one of the least insane options, simply because we really don't know what is going on with him right now. Except for that, show me chaos. We already covered the chaos gods. Well, we covered the big four chaos gods that pretty much everyone knows in some capacity. We have two other chaos aligned people. We got two other chaos aligned folk later on. Right now, since, again, while the Lumineth can cause mass, can lean towards collateral damage because they're just that hyper-focused on kicking the shit out of Chaos and its forces, and Undeath too, Nagash is still out there trying to kill everyone ever. He's not coming home for a while. But he is... I haven't heard anything really negative about him, so I'm actually gonna put him above Sigmar. They're having a stare off over there. Now, Gorka Morka. Contrary to what this doodle is, he's got two heads, Gork and Mork. Fun fact, when they start arguing so much, I can't tell it's going home the milk. Look, he'll come home eventually. Half of Hish focuses more on his teachings. Like, he might come home. Maybe one day. Just gotta hold out hope. He might come home. No, Gorka Morka. Gork and Mork, but they share a body. The two heads sometimes fight so much, they commit mitosis and just beat the shit out of each other. Which is amusing. But he's still the major deity of the Destruction faction. So, in the thinking of, what is it? I think it's like an enemy is a friend that you aren't fighting yet. It's not gonna be, it'll be their definition of fun. Schizophrenia to the max. Well, look, so when the cutting but brutal side and the brutal but cutting side fight, it's literally two heads. In the aftermath of the old world just dying, they did the fusion dance, but it didn't go right. Like, you're not gonna get anything deep, and it's gonna be very, very violent. In fact, you know what? I think, like, some of the Chaos entities, I don't think he's physically capable of that kind of relationship. But, like, it's the Supreme Orc. It's the biggest guy. He used to be best buds with Sigmar because they fought each other that hard. I think some of the tales, like, their fights were so intense they were, like, flattened mountains and stuff. Violence is not the answer, it's the question. And the answer is yes? You know what? You know what? You know what? If you're into that stuff, if you are an orc born into a little tiny human body, he actually does have human worshippers. He used to be part of the Pantheon of Order. So he does have a lot of mortal worshippers in Age of Sigmar, which is pretty cool. Which is pretty neato. It really could go either way. It really could. Now, Grimnir, he's kind of exploded. He exploded into a bunch of tiny itty-bitty pieces. Before the actual, like, tabletop game started. Like, this was super early in the setting. In fact, one of the whole things with the faction that worships him, the Firesters, they're trying to gather all this gold because they believe if they bring enough of it together, Grimnir will come back. He'll come back. The main goal is to blow up. It wasn't quite that. The story is that Grimnir and his brother Grungi, who we will talk about next, found themselves chained to the top of a mountain. How and why, nobody knows. But when Sigmar was just, like, exploring the realms, when he found them up there, and he, helped them out of that situation. Grungi swore oath that he would help Sigmar in his time of need, and Gurney is like, do you want me to kill something? I will kill whatever the fuck you want me to kill. And then Sigmar's like, you see that giant lava dragon that's tormenting Akshay called Volcatrix? Kill that! You should totally kill that. And so he went and did that. And then the fight resulted in both him and Volcatrix exploding into a billion little pieces. So he's kind of dead-ish. So it's not, there's no physically impossible tier. Kill him or no balls. It wasn't exactly, I think that was exactly that one. Well, let's see if I can find it. Let's see. Sigmar discovered him upon the highest peak of the Iron Mountains in Kamon, the realm of metal, chained together with his elder brother Grungni. Of how they had come to be there, neither would ever speak. Both Grimnir and Grungni immediately swore oaths to their liberators. Grungni would go on to labor as Sigmar's right hand for millennia, but Grimnir, ever intemperate and absorbed by his oaths, wished to settle the debt at once, and demanded that Sigmar name a foe worthy of his axes. The beast Sigmar named was Volcatrix, mother of salamanders and the terror of Akshay, whose breath was the heat of the Fire Realm's volcanoes. Their titanic clash is one of the best-known and most retold legends of the Age of Myth. It is said to have raged for many days, the outpouring of their combined strength and fury shattering the landscape and reshaping it forever, demolishing hills, gouging valleys, and raising new volcanoes wherever the blood of Volcatrix fell. How Grimnir finally fell is a tale shrouded in centuries of myth. His faithful say it was Grimnir who first struck the killing blow, with Volcatrix's final act of spite ensuring that her fiery death throes claimed them both. And then they exploded. So right now Grimnir is like scattered all over the 8 realms in the form of this magical thing? Mineral. Mineral's the closest word. Called Urgold, which is indistinguishable from regular gold. Dragon have martyr flips. Oh! So, the Fire Slayers have they really want their god back, so they kind of have a mercenary reputation. So long as they can get their hands on Urgold and bring their god back. Lots of people enjoy wondering, would the Age of Chaos would have been as bad as it was if Grimnir was around? But we just don't know. He's kind of indisposed. Speaking of the dwarves, Grungni. A certain someone described him as the dwarfiest dwarf to ever dwarf. A master craftsman. He's kind of depressed, though. Like Sigmar, he is kind of depressed. After he helped Sigmar in making the Stormcast, a true short king. After he helped Sigmar in making the Stormcast and like the whole Anvil, Apotheosis, that stuff, kind of just walked off. He retired for a little bit. Let's see here. Yeah, he'll teach you stuff. But then he'll stop teaching you stuff once he thinks like, you've learned everything I can teach you. I'm not gonna teach you anymore. Cause let's see, where is it? Where is that quote? Where is it? Where is that quote? I can't find the line about where he will leave after he's taught you enough, because he's like, because it's the line was something like, he knows that if he keeps trying to push his own ways, the relationship will turn sour. So it should be worth noting that when Sigmar was retreating to Azir, Grungni went with him, and a lot of dwarves really resent Grungni for kind of leaving them behind. But hey, you know what? He's not, I mean, he's kind of sad, but, you know. Again, he's probably one of the safer and saner options. In fact, because, he's a dwarf, his oath is his word. Yeah, friends with benefits at the least. Now that I think he came out of retirement a bit, he might actually be the first top tier we got. Because he can definitely exist without the context of war. He might need he doesn't have plans to just completely up and disappear once the War of Chaos is over. He's a craftsman, I can see someone being really happy. Not me. It's the beard. I'm not a fan of really big beards. I just think it's kind of unsanitary. I just keep thinking bits of food getting stuck in there. I'm gonna put him. He's gonna be our first happily married here because I can see it happening. One day, someday, but not today. Rejoice, dwarf lovers. Purification. Why would you say something like that? Why would you do that? Oh, yeah, back to chaos! Ready for chaos? Ready for the best chaos god? You ready? It's the time for the Great Horned Rat. The guy who worked so hard that he actually became the 5th major chaos god. But considering the Great Horned Rat is everything the Skaven aspire to be, he is not one for a lasting committed relationship. He feeds off the emotion of desperation. Because listen, if some of these other guys completely abandon you, if you're stuck with the Great Horned Rat, you gotta be desperate, man. To quote his little first paragraph blurb, the being known as the Great Horned Rat is a single entity, but within the teeming labyrinth caverns that make up the indecipherable vastness of his mind lurk a myriad of scheming, bickering, conniving, unfathomably inhuman personalities. Each constantly vies for supremacy over the others, much as the great powers of chaos war amongst each other. In this, the Great Horned Rat could be considered the truest manifestation of chaos amidst the dark powers. He certainly thinks so. But I gotta respect the hustle. He went from a nothing minor chaos god to the 5th major chaos god. That hasn't happened in any of the other settings. I mean, he's still going into bottom tier, but you gotta respect the hustle. You gotta respect it, if nothing else. And also, he's just the funniest. It's the Great Horned Rat. He's got the Skaven. The Skaven are great. Oh fuck! How long has it been since I last heard of Despero, man? God, it's been years, man. Anyway, we go from the Great Horned Rat to the to the wizardiest wizard to ever wizard. We're going back to an elf. It's Tierlist. Good movie. I have to see if I can rewatch it. Yeah, I remember enjoying it. I think I read the book too. Yes, Tierlist, the elfiest, the wizardiest wizard to ever wizard. I think it's on YouTube. Neat. Back when he was mortal, he basically had magic. What the heck was it? I don't remember what specifically it was described as by the world's biggest elf simp, Pancreas No Work. But you know what? He's the god of magic now. You know, elves. Don't tell Kai's on that. He went a little rabbit for Alariel not too long ago. But hey, look, Tierlist is on the forefront of kicking Chaos's ass. He goes out there and casts Power Word Kill on Chaos Demons and the Undead. At least show him some respect. Like that, again, I wasn't gonna bring up old world fantasy unless I really felt like it. But he was one of the few elves in the old world that was like, you know what? It'd be pretty cool to work with these other races. I think we should all work. I think we should work together. It's a level 30 wizard. I mean, I don't know. What level are the gods in D&D? What level are they? Elf Slay. Yeah. He is the wizardiest wizard to ever wizard. Like, based on his little thing in the Soulbound core rulebook, there is almost no institution of learning that isn't dedicated to Tierlist in some form. You don't play nerd games? What are you talking about, DJ? Are not all the video games nerd games? Silly. And speaking of being the wizardiest wizard to ever wizard, here's some fun Luminut stuff. Actually, here's just some fun Age of Sigmar elf stuff. in general. So, do you recall when I mentioned Slanesh ate a whole bunch of elf souls, and that the elf gods started ripping them out of Slanesh once they locked him up in jail? Teclis was one of the first. Teclis wanted to remake, not only just remake the elves, but also improve upon them. The first batch didn't go over so well. Like 9 and 10 of this first batch, their souls were incomplete. They would die after like a couple of years. And they had like this weird darkness inside of them because, you know, they were in Slanesh's gut for who knows how long. Cybernetic elves. Unfortunately, the dwarves are hoarding that technology at this moment. But they could. Anyway. So that first batch was the Idoneth. Teclis tried to find out what exactly was causing these issues and tried to fix it, but that kind of resulted in death. So the Idoneth ran the fuck away to the bottom of the ocean. They've got a big crab. They're cool. But round 2, Teclis got it right. With the Lumineth. However, the Lumineth, as one would expect from High Elves, were incredibly smug and arrogant. Like, they would just praise the Great Crab. Also praise Giant Turtle. The Idoneth are really cool. Because the ocean is really cool. Wait, the Lumineth. They would make these super fancy weapons of mass destruction just because they could. They'd be like, oh, look at this cool Art Deco piece. And petty squabbles escalated until they almost destroyed themselves. Teclis himself stepped in. I was like, dudes, stop. Apologize to the realm of Hish. Here's how you do that. And so now they're all like aesthetic and stuff. Teclis stopped his creations from arrogantly blowing themselves up. Also, he likes to be with his people. He is like his brother. He goes out into the other realms to kick chaos and undeath in the face. Not really kick them. He's as the wizardiest wizard, he doesn't have much in the strength stat, but he can't just cast Power Word Kill. But also, he hangs out with Selenar, which is like the embodiment of Hish's moon. Which is like this cool Sphinx thing. Which is cool. You know, it's cool to just be lame? What do you mean lame? Would you not like to just ask... Would you not like the magic to just make a mountain start walking? Only weaklings use spells. I mean, that's only the Techlian school. Tyrians, the elves that prefer Tyrians, teachings, they will run up to your face and stab you. I'd rather carry the mountain. I'd like to see you try. And like in there, for the Elementary, they're kind of like nature warlocks, I'd best describe it. In order to become that, if you wanted to say become a stone mage and be best buddies with a mountain, you have to be buried alive, and the mountain itself has to let you breathe. They put their lives on the line to communicate and be able to work with these elemental spirits. However, there is one point I'm going to have to knock against them. They have very silly hats. Just look up Lumineth. What is it? Guess that hole is made. You're right. Only if the mountain says so. It's like, they're not like super smug and arrogant anymore. They've been immensely humbled. But that's the Lumineth. We're talking more on Teclis. Let's see here. A being of deep philosophy and possessing great wisdom learned at terrible cost over countless years. He values all knowledge and is gracious, some would suggest heedless, in his pursuit of truth. When his people were lost and all but falling to chaos, Tierlist found a new way for them to be and saved their collective souls. It should be noted, however, even though he's he's really big on teaching, he is Tierlist is happy to light the path, but the scholar must walk it. So let's say you asked him what the tip would be at dinner. If you asked him what the tip would be, he'd probably tell you how to calculate it and just let you figure it out yourself. He wouldn't just tell you how much the tip would be. So that's something you gotta keep in mind. I think he basically just lives on the moon, too. Which is cool. Moon's cool. Can't go wrong with the moon. But do you remember when I was talking about Tyrion, how I said Tyrion would occasionally borrow Tierlist's sight? I can imagine many a scenario that might be a little awkward. Yeah, yada yada. Those who venerate Tierlist count him as one of their greatest teachers, for he still instructs his people whenever he can. He's a little bit salty towards Sigmar because something Tierlist because Tierlist gave him something that'd be like, oh, you can use this to help illuminate the truth and all that stuff. And then Sigmar and Grugni turned it into a tool of obfuscation so they could work on the Stormcast in secret from Chaos. Tierlist is a little salty about that, but he's not gonna try to cast Power Word Kill on Sigmar. He still knows that, he's a bit more he's down to earth enough to know, that wouldn't be a good idea. So, I mean, with Tierlist, it really is depends. I actually think Tierlist might be a little bit higher than his brother, simply because we know a bit more about him. And also, Tierlist kicked Nagash's ass, which is cool. So, I'm gonna get right next to Gurney, but I can also see him in the Friends with Benefits tier. Alright, any questions? Any questions, class? Any questions before we move on to Archaon the Ever-Chosen, Grand Marshal of the Apocalypse, the Three-Eyed King? Should be worth noting, Archaon is technically not a deity, but he's got enough of the juice to basically be considered one. Yeah, any questions? No? Alright then. We move on to Archaon the Ever-Chosen. He's a bit of a picky. He's tricky. Not picky. Because one, I think he would kill me for putting him in this tier list, because dude hates the gods. He might be the Ever-Chosen, but that's because of daddy issues with Be'lakor back in the old world. He won the setting. Technically. He technically won the setting. He's the reason the old world blew up. And does he wear a fedora? No, he's got a really cool helmet. And also, it's because of a lot of, issues as he was growing up. Again, this is old world stuff, but it is relevant to Archaon. So, back in the old world, he used to be a Templar to Sigmar. He was really devoted to the guy. However, after keeping a long story short, let's just say a crisis of faith, he was like, Sigmar, is this true? Please answer me. What do I do? Sigmar was kind of indisposed at this point in time, and so when Archaon just met with Signs, he's like, alright, fine, I guess I'll go be Everchosen. But he hates the Chaos Gods. He especially hates Sigmar, too. So the thing is, the Chaos Gods are basically bribing Archaon all the time just to even try to keep him in line, and he's just playing them against each other. Like, let's say Korn gives him a gift. He might go, this is nice, but Slaanesha's gift was better. He's basically just playing them. Bro gets ghosted once and broke. Listen, again, there's a bit more to it, but that's the long story, very shortened. I recall someone describing Archaon as, imagine Abaddon, but if he was competent. Like, listen, you know me, I'm a sucker for cool armor. You can fix him? No, he is beyond fixing at this point. He is beyond fixing at this point. It's very unfortunate, but he's kind of beyond fixing. I get it. He has that kind of energy about him. But we can't fix him. We can only let him make us worse. But again, he is associated with chaos. So while it could be consensual, it would not be safe or safe. Because you gotta be dealing with chaos. And like the other Chaos Gods, they could just do something to you because of Archaon. I mean, I don't know if anyone would ever be so bold, but you know, I'm gonna put him in the bitter divorce tier because I think that the cons would outweigh the pros. 10 bits this minute. Where is that? Where is it? It said you used the 10 bits to play the rat dancing me, but I don't know where it is. I'll have to fix that. But here's the tier list. Before I end stream, do we have any questions? Thoughts? Concerns? Oh, YouTube paused again. Yes. Look, if you have questions, you gotta let me know. I'll trust the experts? Listen, I probably should have prefaced this at the beginning, but I'm not an expert. I don't even play the actual tabletop game. Is that because I have no patience to learn the rules and put together the models? Mayhap. And I also have no one to play it with? Mayhaps. That's not the relevant reason, but I don't read all the books. I only read the books that interest me. I have a mostly surface level knowledge. So you know what? If people find the VOD, they can yell at me there. It will simply feed the algorithm. And someone stupid has to make this stupid tier list, and it might as well be me. What are you using 10 bits for? What are you using bits for? Oh, I see it. It's right up there in the tiny corner. What the fuck is that even from? I couldn't hear it. And now I'm sad. But anyway, this is the thing. To recover. Blurp? I'm sad. Anyway. I'll give you a brief summary. Though the too long didn't watch. You could have your chances of having a long, successful marriage is the highest tier with Grimney and Tierlist. Although Tierlist could also be put into the friends with benefits. It will take work. You'll have a lot of bumps in the road. But the worst thing that could happen is that you go your separate ways, and nothing is taken in the divorce. I don't really know where to place them because I could see them existing on both extremes of the spectrum. Go to Malarion, Gorka Morka. Bitter divorce is, you can try. It's not a good idea. You might give it an honest try, but you're going to be coming out of it worse for wear. With Morathi, Nagash, and Archaon, the not safe state or consensual tier is exactly what you might think of a tier of that name. With Korra, Nurgos, Lynette, Zinch, Grimnir, only because he's kind of exploded. He could. It's literally not safe to even try. And the Great Horned Rat. Oh yeah, I didn't actually list the ones in Friends with Benefits tier. Tyrion, Sigmar, and Olariel. So you're telling me there's a chance. Look, you'd have to find all his scattered remains and bring them together. So yes, there's a chance, but it's highly unlikely. If you're talking about Grimnir, anyway. Yeah. This was very silly. I rambled. I didn't know what I was I did. And I continue to not think before speaking. Yes, this was a little fun. Again, 14/16, I don't know what percentage that is, of these drawings were taken from Twarden's Age of Sigmar videos. I only drew the Morathi and Malarion ones in a cheap imitation. To the Capo, best Capo, thank you. I don't know what the fuck is going on right now. Yeah, so go watch his videos. You can literally just watch just type in Age of Sigmar for Dummies, or was it Very Chaotic Introduction to Age of Sigmar? Yeah, his videos are a very good way to get into the setting. You're going in my ears, headphones. What does that mean? What do you mean? What does that mean? I was just... Huh? What? Huh? I don't understand. What is this? What? Huh? No stereo speaker involved.
The inner machinations of my mind are an enigma.
I really just... The inner machinations of my mind are an enigma. Oh. I really should just pump up how... I don't know if you can hear them. I can barely hear them. I'll fix that later. But yeah, here is the Datability tier list. They're kind of loud on your end. Jeez. I can't even hear them. But yeah, that is it for the day. I should stream again tomorrow. It's probably going to be El Shaddai. But I am dog sitting right now, so who knows? Yeah, that's that for the evening. Again, I should be streaming tomorrow, but if not, you can yell at me for my Shitty Takes Dog stream, and I'm not gonna stream. That's revealing too much information. And also, you just staring at him as he lays around the house. He's old. He's old. Let him rest. Gosh. Let the dog stream. He does not like being picked up. He likes the floor. Yeah, I will see you guys next time, whenever that is. But until then, you guys take care. Let's see if anyone is doing a thing, so I can send you their way. No. No one is doing a thing. And also, F to everyone who just joined, because the stream is actually ending, but you can catch the VOD on the YouTubes. And you can